Welcome to Power Cubicle Guy. In today's show, we are going to do a lab of AZ-104 Azure Administrator. We will see how we can manage Azure Active Directory Identities, and as part of this lab, we will be provisioning users and group accounts. We will also see how we can dynamically update the group membership based on the user job titles, and we will also create a Azure Active Directory tenant and will manage the Azure AD guest users in our subscription. So let's dig in and see how this can be done. But before that, a small intro. So as you see in the below architectural diagram, we will be creating two users, which is AAD user 1 and AAD user 2, and we will also assign a dynamic membership type to those users. And then we will also be creating another tenant which is named here as Contoso Lab, and we will create a user there, 01B AAD user 1. We will see how we can manage the Azure AD guest users in our default Azure AD tenant. Alright. So let's see the demo now. Let's go to Azure Active Directory. Alright, then go to the users, click on your username, click on edit, and see this usage location should be set. So you can select that and click on save. As my usage location is already set here, I don't have to do anything. All right. Now click on new user and create our first user, which is AAD user 1 in our default tenant, as we have seen in the architectural diagram. All right, click on let me create the password. Type in the password and then select the usage location here and give the job title as Cloud Administrator, then department as IT, and then click on create. Now click on this user. You will see the profile of that user. Click on the assigned roles and add assignments and assign the user administrator role. Right? Assign this role and click add. Click on refresh. You see now it's added, user administrator role, right? Now open an in-private browser and log in with the same user account. Now first what you have to do is copy the user principal name from here, which is this. Copy that. Now open an in-private window. Sign in with the account you just created. Alright, so we have logged in with that user. Now go to Azure Active Directory. Now let's create another user here, as this user we are logged in with is a user administrator, so it can create a new user. So let's create another user, AAD user 2. Let me create the password. Click on that option, type the initial password, usage location as Australia or whichever country you are in. Type in the job title. For this user, type in as system administrator, department again is IT. Click on create. Right, so you see here AAD user 2 is now created. Sign out from this user now. We are back to our default directory. As you see, if you click refresh, you can see the second user which we created. Alrighty. So far what we have done is we have created two users, AAD user 1 and AAD user 2. We have given the job titles. For the second user we have given system administrator, and for the user 1 we have given user administrator. AAD user 2 we created by logging in through AAD user 1. Why? Because we gave the user administrator role assignment to user 1. So two of our users are now created. Now let's move on to task 2. Here we will create Azure AD groups and we'll see the dynamic membership and assigned membership. Go to manage section, which is this, and go to the licenses here. Alright, now go to the all products. So here like I have already applied for trial membership of premium P2. So for this section, for dynamic groups to work, you have to take this free license premium P2. So you can click here try/buy and click on this free trial and activate it. As I have already activated, so I'm not going to click on that. So once the activation is done, you will see this. You can refresh the page. So once this is done, navigate back to the AD tenant blade and click on groups. Now click on new group. So group type here we have to select as security. So the options here is security and Microsoft 365. So we will select the security and we will name the group as IT Cloud Administrators. Remember, there shouldn't be any space. And the group description we can give as Contoso IT Cloud Administrators. So membership type, this is the main thing which we have to select here as dynamic. So why we are selecting it as dynamic, you will see further in the demo. IT Cloud Administrators, dynamic user, and then we will click on the add dynamic query. So here we will be adding an expression for the job title. So select the job title from a property and choose the operator as equals, and here type in the value of cloud administrator. Alright, so once this is done, you have to click on save and click on create. So this will create a group IT Cloud Administrators, membership type as dynamic, and we will create another group. The group type will be security and the group name is IT System Administrators, and we will give a group description of Contoso IT System Administrators and membership type again as dynamic user. Here we will create another dynamic query. Select the job title equals system administrator. So in previous one we gave it as cloud administrator, and here we are giving it as system administrator. Remember to click on save and then create. Then create one more group as security, group type again as security, and group name IT Lab Administrators, and group description as Contoso IT Lab Administrators, but here the membership type will be assigned. So the previous two groups were dynamic, and here we are leaving it as assigned. So click on here, no member selected, and from here add the IT Cloud Administrators and IT System Administrators. select that and click on create. What we have done is we have created two groups, IT system administrators and IT cloud administrators, and here in IT lab administrators, which is a membership type as assigned, we have added these two groups. And if we go to IT cloud administrators, we should see the member AAD user 1, right? So this is dynamically assigned based on the job title rule. If you remember, AAD user 1 is the cloud administrator. If we go here and if we see the job title of this user, we gave here as cloud administrator, right? So this is what the membership type dynamic means. Now again, if we go to IT system administrators, to the members, we should see AAD user 2 because we gave the job title here as system administrator. So this group IT system administrators was having a dynamic rule for this job title as system administrators. So that's why you can see this AAD user 2 here. So hope dynamic membership type is clear to you guys. What does it mean? So this is automatically assigned, and in the membership type assigned, we have to manually click on those groups to assign it to the group. Alrighty, so two of our tasks are now done, which is creating two users, AAD user 1 and 2, and by adding through job titles, we have created a dynamic membership type, and also we have seen how assigned membership type works. So our next task is to create an Azure Active Directory tenant. So let's go to the overview tab, and here you see an option called manage tenants. All right, now here you can click on create a tenant, select a tenant type as Azure Active Directory, click next configuration. You can give here an organization name, which is we type as Contoso Lab, and a valid domain name. So let's give it as Contoso, some random number, so that it should be unique across. All right, so it is unique. Select the country region. I'll select as Australia. You can select your data center location, and now click on review plus create. Validation passed. Click on create. Prove that you are not a robot for WDX. All right, it shows tenant creation in progress, and this will take few minutes. Now you see the Contoso Lab tenant is created. Let's switch to that tenant by selecting the switch option here. Now you see you are in Contoso Lab directory. Here on the right hand top corner also you can see Contoso Lab. Go to users and click on new user and create a user as 01B AAD user 1. Password, let me create the password option and type in the password. Give the job title as system administrator, department as IT, and click on create. Right. Now go back to this user. Remember to copy this complete user principal name, as we will be granting a guest user access in our original default tenant. So this is currently we are in Contoso Lab tenant, and if you see this user we have created. Now we will switch back the directory by clicking here switch directory, and we will switch to our default directory. Go to the users pane, and now here you have to click on new guest user. All right, so automatically the invite user option will be selected here. In the email address, paste the UPN, you copy it there, and in the name you can type the name. After that, select the usage location again as Australia, and job title here you can give as lab administrator, and department again as IT, and click on invite button here. You see here a guest user type is created. Click on that and click on groups, click on add memberships. You see here only IT lab administrators we can select, so we will select that because dynamic groups are not allowed for that. Click that. So IT lab administrators group we have added. Alrighty, so all our task is now done. So only one thing to remember is, like, we have invited this user from this tenant, so you have to log in through this user account and accept that invite. That's all. So guys, hope this video will help you in managing the Azure AD identities. And if you like this video, please give it a big thumbs up and please do subscribe to Power Cubicle Guy. Thank you guys and see ya.